Hey guys, welcome back to Marriages Restored in Faith. My name is Ray.
Hi guys, my name is Dora, and today it is Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. First day of October.
We just thought we'd make this video really quick and it's going to be short. As you see everything that is happening, you saw what happened in the hurricane and it hit over 800 miles. There's a lot of destruction. A lot of families are struggling. There's a lot of people without water, food, supplies. In fact, some people have commented on the news saying that this was unexpected. The storm was worse than they thought it was going to be, and they were not ready for it. That is something that each and every one of us should be thinking about. What are you not ready for? We've been saying it for many years to prepare, to stock up on some supplies, stock up on things that you use, get ready. We've been saying things aren't looking as bright as some of us would want it to look. Now you hear about the port strikes. Have you seen how many port strikes there are now? Did you see the entire, it's from Texas all the way up to New York, all on the coastline. Look it up for yourself if you haven't looked that up yet. What does that mean? That means people are going to go crazy right now to go buy supplies that they should already had. They're going to go buy all kinds of supplies that they probably are not going to use.
Right.
But they're going to be in panic mode to purchase all this stuff. We're coming into times that this is about to start accelerating. We are in October, and how convenient that it's during this year. You understand what I'm saying? During the time that somebody writes a name on there and puts it inside a box. Just think of that. Things are changing. We have to prepare.
Yes.
And you see the title, it says, no one is coming to help you. Have you heard what is happening over there in those areas of North Carolina, South Carolina, and so on? Have you heard what's happening there? They're not getting any help. The only help they're receiving are from the people around them.
Yes, the locals.
The locals. There's no government funding coming into them. That should say a lot. They just sent millions and billions of dollars overseas again a few days ago. During this time, knowing that this was going to happen, they saw it in the Weather Channel, the news, and so on. They knew this hurricane was going to hit. And yet they send money overseas instead of taking care of Americans. Think of that. That's why I titled it, No One is Coming to Help You. You have to pay attention. You have to get ready and prepare.
Yes.
I saw a gentleman earlier, and he said, you know what, I just got a rant. I got to give a rant. I know this is going to hurt some people, but you have to get ready. You have to be prepared. It is your responsibility to prepare for your family. Can you prepare for everything? Absolutely not. But you can do the best that you can. Water, yes. Water, supplies, food, shelter, and so on. And you may say, well, they could have done that over there in those areas and it would have been wiped away. Yes, absolutely. But there's other methods that I'm sure some of those people did. They probably had another place that they could leave from that state, from that city, and go to another location that they have preps in there.
Yes, because that would be plan B. That would be plan B. So not only are we saying, get prepared as in your plan A, within your circle, within your home, have extra of things, to where you don't have to go out to go get something right there and then. But also plan B. What if that happens, where you live? What if a flood comes in? What if, do you have somewhere to go? Do you have another place that you can bug out to? That is what, it's like now you have to think of it broader. You have to think, okay, I have plan A. Okay, now plan B. I need to think about, okay, if my state, if my city gets hit, where can I go?
Yeah, we have to think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, if you're in a hurricane environment that you know hurricanes happen, then it would be wise. I know not everybody can afford it, but it would be wise to put some money to the side and have another location that you can go to, either rent a place, purchase another place. And I know times are getting tough. I understand that. And with this port strike, we don't know how long it's going to last.
Right.
But we know the damage that it's going to bring.
Oh, yes.
And the thing is supplies are about to be very low. And whatever supplies that are left, it's going to be very pricey.
Yes.
It's going to be expensive where some people are not going to be able to afford it. And we said it years ago that it's a good practice to purchase more supplies as needed and stock up, because it's going to cost you less than what it's going to cost now.
Yes.
It's a good idea to have cash in hand, because right now, did you know that I heard it was only one ATM in the area that was working. Every other ATM was not working in those areas. So these places are not going to be able to take a debit card, a credit card. They're going to want cash.
Right.
I already heard that they ran out of gas. They ran out of diesel in those areas, that the hospitals don't have diesel or gas to run on those generators. And I heard some of those generators were already wiped out because of the flood. There's so much devastation that has happened there. And if you're nearby to those areas, lend a hand out. Mm-hmm. The sad part is there's a lot of scammers, a lot of thieves right now that are taking donations and stealing people's money. So that's the hard part. But if you're nearby, help out. Another thing to think about, I know a lot of people say, well, I'll just go to my local church. What if your local church is not in a prepping mindset?
There you go. Mm-hmm.
What if they don't have a prepping mindset? What if your local church says, you know what, we're not going to prepare. We're not going to stock up. Or what if they can't afford it? Mm-hmm. What if they don't have enough donations that come in and they have a prepper's mindset, but they don't have the funding to come in to prepare to help the people? What if you have a multi-million billion-dollar church and they say, it's going to happen to me. I'm not about to give any of my money away. It can happen that way too.
That's right.
You remember what happened to Joel Osteen's church years ago? That whenever that hurricane went, you're not coming to my church, until he had a lot of backlash, and then he decides to open it up. And then he asked for funding from the government instead of him providing the funding from his church. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that says a lot there. See, no one is coming for you. You just saw, and people are saying, well, the government's supposed to help. You know what? In fact, in the Bible, it is not the government that is supposed to help. It is the church that is supposed to help. It's the people.
Yes.
Not the church building per se, but the people are supposed to help one another. We have to prepare so we can help each other out as well, not just for yourself. We have to start thinking about it. If you didn't listen, I know this is the prepping video, but we have talked about this years ago, that we believe that we heard from the Lord saying there's a storm coming and it's like no other. Mm-hmm. This is just the beginning, and that's sad to say, but this is just the beginning. We have to, and I heard some of those filters, water filters, were already damaged in those areas that they can't even use anymore. There was a gentleman that came on the news and he said, you know what, we can't even flush our toilets. We don't have any running water. Electricity is down. See, that's something to think about. They keep talking about a black swan event of electricity going out on the entire United States. What if that happens? There's no running water because it requires electricity. Mm-hmm. You can't flush toilets. So what happens then? Think about that.
Yeah.
No trash coming in, so you can't take out the trash. Refrigerators and freezers, if there's no generators, there's no fuel, then how are they going to operate? Meat starts rotting out, and so on. Things can just go south
real fast.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I'm not here to freak people out, but I'm here to tell people, hey, it's really time to wake up. Mm-hmm. It really is time to wake up and say, what do I need to do? And get a checklist and say, all right, I haven't gotten enough water, so I need to go stock up on some water. And I'm not talking about going crazy and just going and backing up your truck and filling it up with water and your truck is down like this and no. I'm talking about start getting ready and start preparing.
Yes.
Talk to your pastors. Ask them, do y'all have a food pantry that y'all are stocking up? If so, I need to donate and help you out on your food pantry. If they say, no, I'm not into that. Okay, fine. That's on you. You're responsible for the congregation for telling them, hey, sorry, I didn't tell you how to prepare. That's up to them. But you as a husband, as a father, are responsible for your family. So it is your job to prepare as best as you can, as financially capable that you can, and as knowledgeable that you're able to and do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you some basic things right now. Water, the main one. Food and medical supplies. Medicines. Those are just the basics that you can think of. And I've mentioned this before, and I know I got off camera, but your communication.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to communicate with one another? See, that's what you just saw that again. Verizon was out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the biggest ones. So how are you going to communicate with family? Your surrounding family. I know this is not that you can communicate all around the world unless you have a satellite phone. But this is your other alternative to communicate with one another. You have to start thinking about all that. How are you going to do that? So I'm not here to alarm you, but I'm here to tell you, look, you can see things that are happening. And somebody that is wise that sees things that are happening are going to say, wait a minute, I need to start doing something about it.
Yes.
Now, different locations. California, Texas, Florida. Those are, totally different sides of the United States. So they can totally have different types of disasters.
Yes.
So you will prepare accordingly to where you live. So if you was to live in Florida in those hurricane areas, you would prepare according to the hurricane, right? If you're over there in California, you will prepare according to the earthquakes and fires and whatever else. You're in Texas, of course, Tornado Alley, depending on where you live in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and other things that you will prepare in Texas for. If you're by the border, you will prepare according closer to the border, right? Depending on what border you're talking about. See? It's just things that we have to sit down and we have to discuss it with our family, and not to scare our kids or scare your wife or your husband and whatever else, but to sit down and say, look, if we prepare, it'll be better for us.
Yes.
Not just for us, but we're able to help others.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I tell you one thing that I see a lot that's going to happen. It's going to be people that go into church that are preparing, and the pastors are refusing to prepare. And they're going to be able to help their pastors and say, all right, this is one of those I told you so moments that you don't want to hear, but I told you so. But I'm going to go help you, and I'm going to help everybody that I can help. But I'm limited to helping as many people as I can, but this should have been your job. It's telling the congregation, listen up. It's time to prepare people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start doing a food pantry. I need y'all to start showing up and bringing some food every week. Every Sunday, at least bring a box of canned food or something so we can stock up here.
Yes.
That way, when something happens, I'm able to distribute to the church.
Yes. I mean, if depending on the congregation, how big it is, if you just tell, hey, bring 1 can every time you come to church.
We don't have time for 1 can. I'm sorry, I might have to tell Dora.
One
no
can,
more.
one can per person in your family.
Not even, because there's a family that has 10. Me and Dora don't have 10.
You can bring 10 cans. You have to start somewhere. The church has to start somewhere. If they have not even begun to do anything, it has to start somewhere.
But yeah, I mean, a can, because prices are going up. But my thinking is, you know what? We don't have time for 1 can no more. You need to bring a case. You need to bring half a case. You need to bring a container. You need to go to Sam's. We need to start stocking up a lot faster, because we don't know when a disaster or something happens and it's already here.
Right.
Because we're behind the curve if the church hasn't started yet. But they've already started. Yeah, I can. But if not, man, we got to wrap it up. We got to move faster. There's a lot of videos out there right now that people are struggling. There's a lot of video. In fact, there's planes that are flying over these areas, and the devastation that's on there, it's really sad. We've been trying to reach out to some a family that we know that's up there, and we haven't heard anything yet. We'll continue to try to reach out and see. It's just maybe they don't have service, maybe they can't get to the phone, maybe it's dead, maybe they can't charge it because there's no electricity. I mean, we just don't know. And that's the hard part, is trying to reach out to somebody that's in these areas. So we have to start thinking of, and we need to stop thinking that this will not happen in our areas.
Right.
We need to get that out and say, all right, I'm going to prepare just in case, but I'm going to pray that it doesn't happen.
Yes.
And we have to pray and ask the Lord, I need your help. I need the Holy Spirit to tell me, how do I prepare in my area? And the Holy Spirit will help you. So we wanted to share this with you because there's a lot that a lot of us should be doing and can be doing. Some of us can do more than others.
Oh, yes.
And that's where we come in, that we can help our neighbors, we can help other family members, we can help each other out. But if we don't prepare ourselves, how can we help somebody?
That's right. That's right.
And you don't want to be that person that I'm a burden to somebody else because I ignored the facts and I ignored what I saw was happening, and I ignored godly wisdom, and I ignored everything, and I denied it that it was going to happen. I don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that person. You want to be that person that says, okay, yes, I can help you because I prepared, I prayed about it, and the Holy Spirit told me, yes, I need to prepare. I saw things that were happening, and I said, you know what, I better start stocking up. So that's just something we all should be responsible in doing.
Yes.
In fact, it's biblical.
Yes.
It is biblical. Did God not say be a good steward? So
right.
We just wanted to share this with you because I see there's a lot of people hurting, and there's a lot of people freaking out, wondering what's happening. Go read Matthew 24 and Matthew 25. Matthew chapter 24 and Matthew chapter 25, and you'll see what we're talking about. So, guys, we thank you for watching. We will see you tomorrow. We may see you tomorrow. I'm not sure if it'll be the same time or not. We got former President Trump showing up here, so
yeah,
I got some work to do.
He's got to get to work, and they're making Ray work tomorrow.
They're making me work. So,
all right, guys.
We'll see.